Hey everybody, welcome back to the channels. I hope you guys are having a good time out there. Superman, a crypto, Pulsechain X, and the Hex Token channels. Over 10,500 subscribers, and you guys are all big supporters of the channels. Big shout out. If you're new, of course, smash the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell for future videos, and of course, get into our Discord. Links in the video description. Really good stuff happening in there. Our community is amazing. Get all the fast knowledge. If you're new to crypto, get up to speed with a lot of crypto knowledge there, because we've got a lot of seasoned pros. So it's a great place to be. Now we've got Lights Beneath in the house there. How are you today? Very good. It's super raining. We had this massive storm last night that came over, and a lightning, just like x-rays, x-ray lightning in the middle of the night. Big storms, rain. It was crazy. It's still raining today, but not so bad. So crazy stuff happening right there. We got Lights Beneath in the house there. It says Hex Pulse Hex is for the win. 100%. That has been on a boom rally. I'm going to talk about that bullish. Richard Hart, Pulsechain, and Hex, of course, have been absolutely smashing it. And some really cool projects on top of Pulsechain like PDDC going to the moon. So, yeah, it's definitely looking pretty good. We got Ryan Torres in the house there. LFG, liking the green ring there. Good old Titanx green ring there. Big shout out to you, Ryan. And we got Bad Sports in from Inferno, and of course Flux coming. We're going to be talking about that as well. So big shout out to you, Bad Sports. Keep up the great work streaming out there as well. So yeah, we're going to be covering stock market and economic news. We're going to be covering the crypto market. We're going to be covering Pulsechain, and of course we're going to include meme coins on the crypto stuff there. And then we're going to get into Titanx, and of course the main event, Hydra record-breaking launch. Don't want to miss that. We're going to have lots of little insights about that. And of course, definitely, if you want to join our strategy club, the link's in the video description, where we talk about multi-chain opportunities. And that is a private club in our Discord. So get into that strategy club today. Pretty awesome. All right, let's get it. We got more Hex, it says. Bull market in full effect. Yeah, it's starting to really get the move on, isn't it? We're expecting some big things. We're actually going to be looking at altcoin season today as well. I forgot about that. In our crypto section, we're also going to be looking at the Bitcoin ROIs as well for the month. So you want to check those out. They're pretty insightful as well. Thanks for reminding me there. More Hex with the little post. We've got Craig Pitt as well. Morning all, Craig. Hey, good to see you. Always great to see some of the, the regulars in the house. And quite a lot of Hex Token channel members as well. Superman Crypto too. Okay, without further ado, let's get into it. Without further ado, I don't know, it sounds like, is it Tony Dancer? I don't know. Let's get into it though, and go for gold. Bam. So the US stock market breaking records. S&P 500 closes above 5,700 for the first time as the tech sector glows. We got the Dow Jones at the moment up 1.25%. Isn't that amazing? That's the industrials, right? So this is kind of your cyclicals there. 522 points, unbelievable. 42,000 on the Dow Jones. Is that crazy or what? Let's look at the max chart. And look at that thing, man. That is crazy. Look at that max breaking records. We're witnessing it. We're living the history. It is crazy. Now, obviously, there's some benefits from stock market, hopefully flow over into crypto. The wealth effect, as we talk about, the richer people get in the stock market, they've got more money to go play over in crypto. We've got the sentiment, right? The sentiment's there. Everyone's really pumped. Obviously, the cycle as well. Pretty exciting stuff happening there. Now, S&P 500 up 1.7%, 95 points to 5,713. And the NASDAQ there up at 18,000, right? So, yeah, let's have a quick look at that 500 there. Look at that on the chart. All-time record. First time ever over 5,700. Insane in the membrane. Look at that thing go. And, of course, the NASDAQ as well. Up 2.5% on the NASDAQ. It's with all the tech companies in it. We got 438 points to 18,000. Look at that on the chart. Just breaking records. We're witnessing it right now, man. It is crazy times. Now, the US dollar is up just slightly today, but it's actually weakening off, right? We're at 100.374. So that's the US dollar versus a basket of trading partners there, and it is going down, right? It used to be 105. It used to be 105. It is going down, and the interest rate pivot should help with that. What should benefit? Well, obviously, we're going to have, potentially a commodities run, and we're expecting big things with commodities at the moment. West Texas oil, $71, Brent oil, $74. They're both down slightly. But the big ones that should benefit from the interest rate pivots, US dollar devaluation, is gold and silver. And we've got gold at the moment at $2,600. Let's look at the max chart on gold. Look at that. Woohoo! Record. Actually pumping it there. And of course, we go right back to 1980, for goodness sake. Some of you probably weren't even born there, but it's pretty awesome. And silver is currently down 1% at $31. But keep a lookout for silver. We have a kind of a target range of $75 to $125 for silver, currently $31. Let's see if that happens into 2026. So keep a lookout for that, US dollar. Now, the big news, of course, coming up, soft landing hopes boosted as rate cutting cycle underway. Well, we don't know that fully yet, right? So we have lagged effects from these high interest rates. Remember, it was the fastest interest rate rise in history, up to 5.5%. That is the terminal rate. And we just had the pivot, was it yesterday or the day before? So there we go. The September Fed rate cut marked the beginning of an easing cycle that is likely to see rates fall further in the coming months. The Fed said that a bulk of policymakers expect 2 more 25 basis point cuts this year. So we had 50 basis points plus 2 more 25s. That gives us 1 percentage point. That will take the federal funds rate from 5.5% in September down to 4.5% by December. That's kind of the what does that do? Makes money cheaper, right? Money cheaper to borrow. It also means that people looking for returns are going to take a bit more speculation on. So that's good for crypto, good for the stock market. So there's kind of things that we're looking forward there. And of course, maybe even the Fed starts printing more money on that balance sheet, and the M2 money supply gets bigger, and so we get this big cash cycle, right? So that all feeds into it's got to go somewhere, that money, right? Cheap money's got to go somewhere. And of course, crypto really hasn't had a full-on bull run yet, so you got to feel pretty bullish about that. Now, Citi expects the Fed to cut rates by another 50 basis points in November, so this is even higher than 25 basis points. But others, however, believe that the Fed is more likely to deliver a 25 basis point cut should incoming labour market data continue to show a moderate pace of slowing. So there we go. So there's a bit of a caveat there. Assuming we do not see a material pickup in claim filings in the coming weeks, the data is setting the Fed up for a 25 basis point cut at the end of next meeting in early November. So there we go. So let's have a look here. We've got the number of Americans filing for first-time unemployment benefits rose by less than anticipated last week, and initial jobless claims coming in at 219,000 in the week ended September 19, compared with an uply revised 231,000 the prior week. Economists had forecast a consensus figure of 230. Now, my only worry is that we won't necessarily have a soft landing. We could have some calamity in the new year on the real economy with the lag effects of interest rates. We're already seeing a lot of weaknesses, not just in labor markets, but in property markets and things like that. So, the ramifications of having these high interest rates. So we'll see where that heads. In any case, we have to have the right person to be able to deal with that. And we have the US election coming on the 5th of November. So hopefully Trump and his awesome economists win that, because if we do have a harder hit on the real economy, they're the right guys to pull us out of it, right? If we have the communists, Kamala and Waltz leading it, we're in big trouble. We're in big trouble there. So there we go. Let's go to the Fed rate monitor, see how many weeks we've got to go. 6 weeks and 6 days and 70 hours to go to the next meeting, and 2/3 of the market expecting another 25 basis point rate cut there. So that's where we are at the standing at the moment. And of course, let's have a quick look at the economic calendar. I'll just go through that quickly before we move on to crypto. What's coming up next week? Let's have a look. We've got some manufacturing data on Monday. What else? We've got consumer confidence on Tuesday. That's kind of around inflationary pressures with the retail book. Remember, 2/3 of the US economy is retail, and of course consumption. So this is the big consumer of the world. So that's a pretty big important gauge. What else there? New home sales, crude oil inventories on Wednesday, durable goods, GDP. That'll be pretty interesting. GDP on Thursday, and initial jobless claims. So watch out for Thursday. Put that in your calendar. That could be a little bit surprising. We'll see how that goes, particularly regarding further interest rate cuts. We've got Fed Chair Powell speaks also on Thursday next week. And then on Friday, man, PCE data. This is the number one gauge for the Federal Reserve. So that's going to play a heavy role there. So initial jobless claims, GDP, and PCE will all feed into the Fed's November meeting. So that's going to be pretty important data coming out next week. So there we go. Let's jump into crypto. So this is our second section of the live stream. We got Bitcoin there up 1.6%. So likey, the interest rate cuts there. And we're sitting at $62,905, up 1.62%. Pretty good. Bitcoin dominant, still pretty dominant. Now we're going to check out altcoin season charts in a minute. But 55.8%, so still pretty strong is the old Bitcoin dominance. Ethereum there, 2,465, up 3.35%. Nice little move higher for Ethereum. I think everyone would be pretty happy with that. But look at the Solana move, man. 6%, $143 on Solana. Pretty nice standout there. Everything else is up. XRP up a little bit, 0.25%. Tron up 1.4% at 15 cents. ADA there. After the one, it's had the Chang fork, right? That's up 1.5%. There we go. And we've also got the big crypto conference on at the moment, right? So seeing lots of crypto stars, as it were, like Hodgkinson there, meetings with people like Jack Levin, for goodness sake, on X1 chain. So there's lots of things happening at this conference. So pretty crazy stuff. And that's going to bode well for the future of crypto development, right? 1.3% there at the moment, BNB up $567. So not bad across the board there. Let's jump over to zoom in on Bitcoin a little bit more. So look at this nice little rally. Woo, we're back. September is turning out to be a much better month. Remember, it's normally the volatile month. And of course, we're actually turning green. We've got green month. We're going to see that in a minute. So look at this. Woohoo, zigzaggedy up there. So not all is lost. We thought it might be because, the hourly was getting pretty chill. Let's go look at the daily and see where that is. And of course, we had the chance of getting a death cross, right? Look at that. Look how close we are to the death cross there. Look at my goodness. How close is that? Wow. We said that the only thing that's going to save us from a death cross was some big, nice green candles, and we got it. Thank goodness the timing of the interest rates. Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. So pretty cool. And we've rallied off that. So that's pretty cool. Saved us so far from the death cross. Now, we've still got another, how many days? 20. Still got another 10 days to go to the end of September, which is normally, September or whatever, Rectember, something like that. Looking at the volatility, we definitely had that, right? Definitely had the volatility. And we managed to bounce several times off 54,000, let's say. Managed to bounce off that, 1, 2, 3, pretty much. So that's been a good support level. And we're going into October, right? October is normally bullish for crypto. And having a bullish September, man, October could be bullish, then November and December. Let's see how it goes. We got obviously the US election coming up on the 5th of November. Obviously, we're wanting Trump to win that. I don't know if you guys saw it yesterday, but he was doing some Bitcoin transfer. Now, it was a little bit botched up, right? And Bitcoin is old tech, right? It's old tech. So it was pretty funny to see them take a bit of time to get that transaction with Trump there. So it was kind of funny. But yeah, they needed a better chain, right? Needed a better chain where it's going to go through real fast. But anyway, we got the 7th of November is obviously the second interest rate thing. We talked about that 7 weeks away from now. So bullish news pretty much if we get those outcomes. And crypto really that summer or winter, if you're up in the north, it could be an absolute super rally for crypto. We really haven't got started, have we? Can we head to 90K Bitcoin by December? That'd be pretty awesome. And maybe in the new year there we start heading up towards maybe 150, 180. So that's kind of what we're looking forward to at the moment. But we do need to have the caveat, obviously, the real economy, the impact of interest rates, how will that play out into the new year? Also, will it come home to roost? In other words, will we have the right person to manage that, i.e. Trump, if that does happen, that scenario? And then secondly, the geopolitical risk, right? The wars in the world. If Trump wins, he's going to pick up the phone and he's going to end those wars, right? So at the moment, we've got people in power that love those wars, right? They love it. And so hopefully we'll get world peace, just like Trump did in his last 4 years. He had world peace on the map. As soon as we got in the Democrats, we had wars, and funding those wars. And yet just a phone call could end up, all that tragedy and uncertainty. So it's going to be pretty important, not only for the world, and so you can get to enjoy your crypto gains, but also for the crypto gains itself. And of course, the US election when they're going to be very important, potentially also as an insurance policy for the Pulsechain, right, in terms of the challenge from the SEC. So lots of stuff in store there. Pretty cool. So that's kind of where we are at the moment, heading into some pretty bullish territory once we get out of September. But September is, even though it's been volatile, has ended up being a positive month, and we're going to check that out in a minute. Ethereum, let's go to that. Ethereum, of course, had the death cross, but it has been rising on the hourly. Pretty nice. We were down here at 2,300. We've got as high as 2,500. Currently at 2,463, sorry, is where we are at the moment. Let's go to the daily. Obviously, we've been in a death cross. And of course, hopefully this is going to start closing this gap. See the yellow line? It's a 50-day moving average. And then we've got the blue line, which is the 200-day moving average. Once that crossed way back here in August the 12th, we've been in a death cross. And of course, that's kind of played out, right? Ethereum really hasn't had its day in the sun. But I think things are going to turn around pretty quick at some stage. And Ethereum will be rallying. Now, obviously, it's a bit of a victim of its own success. with all the second, prodank sharding and all the second layers and all sorts of stuff, taking a lot of its activity and, having a good times and Optimism, Arbitrum and others, base and things like that. So we'll see where we go. And it's heading in the right direction, thank goodness. That's all I can say about that. We have tested 2,200, 2,250. We kind of tested that recently. So onwards and up from here, all the way back to 2,500. This is also going to be very important for the Richard Hart Pulsechain and Magic Hyper Ride, right? That's 170,000 ETH. That was bought at about $3,700. It's way out of the money. So obviously it's going to be pretty important. But that hasn't stopped Pulsechain from rallying recently and money coming over the bridge. So there's other sources of funds. So good times, good times. Now let's get into altcoin season. Let's have a quick look at that. Where are we on the altcoin season? So this is quarterly, right? Every 3 months. We can see it is not altcoin season that declares the index. It is not. It is not altcoin season. And of course, we still see Bitcoin dominance at about 55%. So it's still pretty strong there. In fact, we can see that we're way down near the Bitcoin season. But is it about to flip very soon into October? Are we going to flip into that big altcoin season we're all looking forward to? And game on, right? Mad money is to be made during that time. Pretty exciting. So that is the quarterly. Let's quickly look at the monthly as well, just to zoom on a more location time. It is still not the altcoin season in the month, declares the altcoin season index. So even on a monthly basis, it is still a Bitcoin season, and we can see that on the charts there as well. Now let's go to the year. It is still not altcoin season, even on a yearly basis. It's coming a bit closer, but we've still got Bitcoin season there. But this could all reverse very quickly in a short space of time. So we'll keep a little, look on there. Now the index, of course, has these particular cryptos in it. So you can agree or not agree, but typically that's kind of where we are at the moment. So it is still Bitcoin season, and let's see if we can get into altcoin season in a very quick space of time there. Now the other thing, of course, is returns. As we said, this is the returns on monthly on Bitcoin. Normally they are red, right? Normally they are red. Look, red, all the way, all back to 2013. Red month for September, 19%, all red. We've had a couple of greens. We only had 3 greens out of all this, and most of them are reds. September is normally one of the worst months, right? March is another one that can be a bit rough, although the last 4 years have been pretty good for crypto, particularly Bitcoin. Now, obviously, we are turning green, so we've actually got a green month. We've had volatility, we did get that, but we haven't had a down month, right? We're up 6.71% at the moment on September 24. And we're coming into October. Now look at October historically. Green. Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo. So Uptober, they call it. So can we just rally into here? And remember, last year we had 4 months of green. I don't see any reason why we won't get that as well. Obviously, I think we might have a little bit of question around that if the Democrats get in. But I think if Trump gets in, man, it's going to be absolutely legitly good. And we could see another green summer or winter, depending where you are. It is going to be a lot of fun. So, good. Surprise the upside. That's what we like to see so far. We've still got 10 days to go, but so far, so good on the returns there for Bitcoin. Kind of cool. All right. Actually, we've got, I think we might have, so look here, we've got Ethereum as well. So we're green on the quarterly returns. So if you take the last 3 months, we're green on Ethereum, though down 28%. So not so hot on a quarterly basis there for Ethereum. So that is kind of cool. It takes us into the memes for crypto. And at the moment, market caps, starting to turn green a little bit there. That's kind of getting to the altcoin season. We're not quite there yet, but getting modest gains. A few winners there. Dog with hat doing pretty well, up 12.8%. Most of that is, or all of that is today with the dog with hat. What else there? Popcat there, up 32% for the week. 13% is today. So that's pretty good for Popcat on Solana. What else is looking pretty good there? Dags, cats in the dogs world, or Mew token. Up 25% for the week, but that is mostly today. And also Book of Meme, also 14%. So that's benefiting from today. Mogcoin as well. That is up 14% for the week. All of that today, 21% there. Turbo up 70%. So doing pretty well as Turbo. 18% today almost. So there is money to be made. Now we had this Nero coin up 2,300%. Down slightly today, but doing pretty well also. Pepe coin up 40% for the week, 16% today. Baby Dogecoin up 140% for the week, so some pretty mad gains there. Sundog slightly down on both those time frames, and then of course dogs on the runes, right? So that's what we're picking for a big rally on Bitcoin. And I think when it gets at tier 1's exchanges, this dog is going to go mood. So anytime you're picking it up at the moment, I think it's a pretty good damn entry at the moment for dogs on runes. And of course, the number one meme coin on Bitcoin, first time in a bull market season. So that's important too. Got a very big influential founder there in Leonidas with Ord.io as well. So a developer as well as a big influencer. Got a lot of very influential people supporting the community. So we're picking that for the win. So that's kind of where we are on the meme coins. And of course, looking green, but modestly. And of course, once we get into full-on, meme season, that's when millions of dollars are going to be made for those that accumulated during the downtime. Total market cap 2.18 trillion at the moment, up 4%. Woohoo! On crypto. So it's a pretty nice little gain. And volume 91.64%, 64 billion, up 14% for the day. All green. So pretty good there on the old meme season there. So that's kind of it for our crypto coverage. We've done stock market, economics, and crypto. Let's get into the chat there and say hello to a few people. And then we're going to go to Pulsechain, and then we're going to get into our Titan X with Hydra and talk about that. So that's coming up next. We've got to do our full coverage, man. We've got to do a full coverage. What else there? Let's see here. We're going to go to let's go back up here. We got Wookie in the house there. Bugs for the win, says Wookie. I'm not sure what that's about. Let us know, Wookie. I'm not quite sure we're heading there. Bad Sports says, I'm here for the build on Titan X diagram. Woohoo! Hey, Bad Sports, love it. I love that diagram too. It's pretty fun. And Archie's in the house there. Hey, Archie. Hi, all. Big shout out to Archie, the Don of the Dons on the Mafia game on Pulsechain and BNB. Archie is a super awesome. Big shout out to you. Bad Sport says, hey man, I was watching on the Superman channel. Nice one there. Very good. In fact, let me have a look over there. Yep, you're over there for sure. And we got more Hex and Red Bull over there too. So kind of cool. Big shout out to you guys. Bull market in full effects is more Hex. I think we got through that. What else we got? Woohoo from Red Bull. I love Titan X so much as Red Bull. Hey, look, it's about we're just entered what the Hydra launch. We've just entered absolutely crazy times of Titan X. It's going to be amazing. Taking over Ethereum is Titan X, so big deal. Wookie says the stock market just follows the money printing, says Wookie. And what else there? We got Cult DeFi in the house there. How's it going, people? Big shout out to Cult DeFi, man. Doing a great job. And of course, spreading the word about Mafia game. That's going to be the number one GameFi on Pulsechain and also playing on BNB. And of course, Cult DeFi has been focused on bringing more influencers from the BNB side. So a big shout out to Cult DeFi for that, doing some great shows. We got I think the Dawn of Dawn show is coming up. Is that later today? Yeah, I think so. So you don't want to miss that if you're playing Mafia. All the Dons are going to be on the show there with Cult DeFi. Big shout out. All right, let's get into it. Crypto Fury as well. Hello, hey, good to see Crypto Fury. Hope you're doing well. Let's get back into it. We're going to go to Pulsechain. Pulsechain day 496. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. Let's do it. All right, so Pulsechain here. 496. We've got Pulse at the moment at quadruple 0412. Up 1.3%. The old Pulsechain has come alive. It's alive. We've got Richard Hart there posting out some bullish posts as well. In fact, I haven't pulled that up, but we will have a look at his posts. So yeah, 1.3%. So a little green shoot, but we've had a really good run the last couple of, a week and a half or something. Pulsex at the moment at quadruple 0218, up 1.8%. So that's still super cheap. So still a lot of work to go there. But the buy and burn at 987.4 billion, 4.89% of Pulsex has been bought up and burned. And you guys know we love buy and burns. That's why we love Titan X ecosystem too, right? It's kind of built in. We love that. And Serum Token, $2.04, up 2.5% there. Obviously, 1.3% of that is the Pulsechain price. Pretty cool. We still haven't done an update in the supply numbers. They're still somehow not getting updated properly. We've got Hex at the moment, which has been the star of the show for a week or something. It's been crazy. At 72/100th of a penny, down 1.8% at the moment, and of course EHEX there at 24/100th of a penny, almost back a quarter of a cent is the old EHEX. So the combined price of EHEX and PX is at just under 97/100th of a penny, almost back at 1 cent, and it was yesterday, right over 1 cent. So pretty exciting stuff. For those that said Hex is dead, well, Hex lives like a phoenix rising from the ashes. It is living, and of course Richard Hart has been posting about that. So let's pull up Richard Hart. Hopefully I won't have any trouble with this account, but let's pull up Richard Hart on that because it's pretty bullish. So let's see if hopefully we can get the render. We are lucky today. So yeah, Richard Hart here 21 hours ago. Sustained double-digit price increases look cool, says Richard. Pulsex V1 1.0 is released much faster. So we've been seeing upgrades in Pulsex, right? We've been seeing stable swaps recently. We've got now a faster version of Pulsex. It is building out, so nothing holding back from the old Pulsechain team led by Richard Hart. Please upgrade. Some queries are 300 times faster. Can you believe it? Provide more data and searches 12 to 30 times faster. That's really important. And you guys know when a fast-moving market happens, you guys are struggling. How do I get the trade? So this is going to be very important for fast-moving markets. Obviously, even Patias ends up falling over despite all the upgrades they've had for that, because it's got to route through so many price calculations and get you the deal. And in a fast-moving market, that's particularly hard. And of course, normally GoPulse has kind of been the best one from my point of view in terms of a DEX aggregator. Otherwise, you're kind of left going to the secondary DEXs, not Pulsex, but maybe moving to 9mm or something like that. And then that's subject to liquidity and stuff like that. So there's a lot of issues around that. But Pulsex getting the upgrades, yeah, baby, yeah. Looking really, really good. So nice green candles. Yesterday, you can see Pulse was up 8.5%, 13.6% on Pulsex, 13% on Zenith, and 27% on Hex yesterday. Pretty awesome. So, Richard there leading the way on that. Pretty exciting. And not only that, but even more bullish is he's been posting about his lawyers speaking at the hearings there in the United States. So today, one of my 11 plus lawyers, ex-SEC lawyer, testified in front of Congress on his own behalf, and of course making a big deal there about the SEC and regulation and things like that. Robinhood app CLO spoke in front of Congress today alongside Bitwise president and Cato Institute there. So lots of cool stuff happening around crypto, and Richard Hart's lawyers in the mix. He's got the dream team of lawyers coming up for the court case in October the 24th, right? So that's kind of where we are on that one. So big shout out to Richard there. Looking at the Pulse charts, here's on the weekly on Pulsechain. Last 2 weeks green. Yeah, baby. We're coming off the bottom there. 4 zeros, 3,100 on Pulsechain, and we're now at 4,100. So a really nice gain there. So let's have a look at that. That is about, about a 32% gain. And really nice to see that, right? So we're back on the drive upwards. Still a long way to go, but man, that is pretty cool. And of course, you guys know we've got the 24th here with the Richard Hart versus ECC with his dream team of lawyers, including one of Elon Musk, right? So kind of cool. I'm feeling very optimistic about that. We already see in the ACC response, it was back on the 8th of July, that was eventually disclosed that they're already capitulating on some of their points. So it's not going to look great for the judge. And of course, we've seen more court cases winning around Ethereum being excluded, security and things like that. So it's going to be fun to see the lawyers really start to take part, the SEC there, and hopefully they get all their points, their merit points, winning there. And the judge, maybe within 30 to 60 days, maybe 90 days after that, hopefully dropping all the cases there, making it really difficult for the SEC to pursue. And of course, nevertheless, on the 5th of November, if we do get Trump winning, then we know he's going to get rid of Gary Gensler. We know he's going to appoint somebody that's going to simplify the regulations and remove lawfare, making up their own laws as the old SEC, and of course get clarity for the crypto market. And of course, maybe by January he'll obviously get sworn in February, get somebody new in, and then maybe by March we get somebody that's actually going to drop the SEC case if it's not already won, to some degree in the courts, right? SEC can still kind of pursue on certain things, but that would hopefully, get the case dropped as much as possible. So any win on that's going to be bullish for Pulsechain, and we've already got the market moving up there. So nice magic cut right in play. Pulsex as well. There's on the daily, moving up really nicely as well. We've had pretty nice gains there on the daily. RSI is still, not fully overbought, so 64. And so look at the weekly on Pulsex. That is the weekly there. And we can see we've had a pretty nice gains as well. So let's have a look where we're up here. We're up 42%, so pretty awesome. Pulsechain up 32. We're up 42% on Pulsex, and it's still relatively undervalued. And we're going to look at the volumes here. Let's do what we can now. Actually, we're going to look at it a bit later, but we're going to get into the volumes on Pulsex. And of course, the more volumes going through, the more valuable Pulsex is really. We're probably going to see a lot of, as we move into altcoin season, a lot of the DEXs get re-rated like previous bull markets and, go to the moon as well. So Pulsex should benefit from that greatly. Incentive token at the moment, still staying in the range, well in the range here, 49,000. So let's have a look, zoom in on the range here. This has been very good for yield farming. The yield farming yields on Pulsechain are fantastic on Pulsex V1. And look at that, right in the middle of the channel. Doing very well. Everyone's loving that. Hex, of course, has been the big star of the show. We can see all these bullish crosses. Look at that. Woo-hoo. This pink line here crossing the purple line. That's the 13-day over the 34-day bullish cross, and it's played out very, very nice. Now we've also got the 50-day in yellow moving up as well. The orange line is the 200-day. You get that crossing, man. OMG. That's all I can say. We are overheated on the RSI. That's why we've had a bit of a cool off at the moment, and that was to be expected. So we talked about that yesterday, I think, and it's played out exactly right there on the old cool off. Let's go to the weekly on Pulsechain. And yeah, look at that. Woohoo! So some mad money to be made here. We're on 50 on the RSI on the weekly. And yeah, once we get that pink line there crossing, what do we got there? Well, we haven't got a 200 moving average yet, but we've definitely got the yellow line there starting to turn up. So keep a lookout for that. It's on the weekly. All right, so we'll be looking for the daily cross though. That's Hex at the moment, looking really, really good. We are up to previous support. So we've stopped there as well. Previous support back in the day on the weekly. You can see that all the way through. And so yeah, we'll probably just need to consolidate a little bit here, move forward. But you never know with Hex. Hex can break bounds. We've only got the 50 on the RSI for the weekly. We'll keep a lookout for that. How long will it pause before it tries to move up again and make mad gains for people that believe in Hex, as we do on this channel. So there we go. eHex as well had a really awesome time. Look at that on the daily. eHex, so that was Hex on Pulsechain. This is Hex on Ethereum. The original Hex up 141% in 2 weeks. So congratulations for those that picked the bottom. I know several people who did. So well done on that in 2 weeks. Another nice 140% gain. Pretty badass there. All right, let's go to the weekly quickly for eHex as well. Bam, bam, bam. So yeah, pretty awesome. Look at that. Woo! Now the BankX wall is still up here, but it's a lot smaller now, right? As I understand it, it's down to 175 million. So that is a lot smaller wall to get through. So that's still up at 0.7 of a penny last time I was aware of it. So there we go. Moving to Hex derivatives, we've got a little bit of movement on Hydra, up 3% there at the moment. Looking at stable coins on Pulsechain, everything is down slightly on the speculative coins. That's pretty much it. Well, actually down quite a bit actually on speculative coins, 15%, 13%, 12%. I was looking at the normal stables. So PDI at the moment, 3400th of a penny. Moving to influencer coins on Pulsechain. The only thing really up a little bit is Poor Pleb and Bromance there. I don't know if you saw Bromance. So Bromance is from Ben Armstrong. Did you guys see the little video of him having a little fight challenge at the crypto conference thing it was at the dinner gala or something? And there he's like going up to the other guy, being real aggressive. I don't know. I think it was probably all staged. Probably all staged for the fight or something. I don't know. But anyway, I think it was pretty much the fight. The guy. I didn't look at the full detail, but I know that he's fighting somebody, right? So a real tall guy too. It's like crazy. So we'll see what happens there. He's full of drama, that guy. All right, so let's go to Pulsechain and have a look at that. So let's have a look at best performers. We got $21.6 million. Woohoo! You guys know we're heading up. We were stuck at down at 5 to 7 million volume. Now we're up at 21.6, and we have had much better volume with this rally. So things can turn around pretty fast, and we say that all the time. 201,000 transactions in the last 24 hours. Some of the big movers, Mollarat there, up there. Pico up as well, 16%. Nana up 14%. DWB up 12%. So a few of the meme coin type things. Pepe up 8%, and Fiction there up 11%. So yeah, a bit of meme coins making a move at the moment. That is kind of where we are on Pulsechain. Let's go back and have a look at everything else before we get into Titan X. We've got a bit of a spike in the gas prices on Pulsechain at the moment, so you're probably going to notice that 909,000 beats. Normally we're in an off peak we're at 200, maybe with a more bullish environment 400 to 500. We got 1/10 of a penny for Pulsechain swap at the moment. Looking at validators, we got 48,676 validators at the moment. 1.56 trillion is off the market. And then let's go to the bridge. The bridge is what we've been looking for. Woo! We're back over 100 million, baby. Yeah, baby, yeah. We're at $103.2 million on the bridge. Looking pretty good. We've had a little bit more DAI going there. Obviously, ETH and Bitcoin are up, so that's kind of cool. eHex is up as well, so not bad there as well. And, of course, eHex was about a week ago, 4 or 5 days ago, flipped USDC there as well. I think we're sitting on 5 million on Coast. I don't know if that's moved much, but definitely looking pretty good. So that is a day 496. We've just started day 497, almost 500 days since Pulsechain launched. It's exciting times, and things are starting to wake up. The dragon is waking up, as we say on Titan X. Well, it's what's waking up over here? The Hexagon? I don't know. It's waking up, whatever it is. All right, so let's jump over to the old Hex stats. for the Hex Daily Stats quickly. We haven't got today's results out, but yesterday we had 7.4 Hex on the old Ethereum chain, so really good payments there. And on Pulsechain, we had for day 495, we had 7.16, and today's results will probably come out within half an hour or so. Something to think about. So that is our Pulsechain coverage. It is looking pretty good. I think we can all agree. It has woken up from its slumber. And of course, now we're going to be talking about, you know it, Hydra record-breaking launch. So we're going to get in Titan now. It is huge. So I'm going to have to switch that out, get rid of that, and pull in the Titan. We've got a full coverage of this, so hopefully you guys enjoy this one too. Let's see who else has jumped in here. We got Wookie says, Pulsechain is 1 day away from 497. Yeah, well, we're already there now. We're there now, Wookie. We're there. It was not a 1 day. It was about 10 minutes. About 10 minutes. We got Titan ecosystem, and Hydra is what I'm here for, says Ryan. Hey, it's about to be here. We're about to talk about that now. So let's go. All right, let's get into it without further ado. And go for gold. All right, this is a Titan X at the moment. Woo! So this is all the coins that are launched and tokens that are launched. We've got Inferno at the top. Put in the chat there why Inferno is at the top at the moment. Put it in the chat why you think Inferno is in the top. We're at 5.36% on the 24-hour basis, only down slightly on the shorter time frames. That is looking really good. The Inferno. Put it in the chat there. Why do you think Inferno is up at the moment? That'd be really interesting. Why it is leading number one on 24 hours there on the rest of the Titan X ecosystem. So we had quite a rise here on the hourly chart. We had a bit of a sell-off. And now we pretty much bounced off 5 zeros, 1750. We're now at 5 zeros, 1861. We've been moving up a little bit the last couple of hours. There was a bit of a live stream, right? The 12-hour live stream with audio crypto. And I know that the bad sports and that were on there. I didn't actually get to hear much of that section because I was watching something else at the time. But, talking about flux coming up, and that would be the answer if you got it right. I don't think anyone put it in. No one put it in the chat there. You guys, come on. Be brave. Be brave. Great work, Superman, says Trev. Hey, thank you so much. And we got Brennan as well, our TA guru in the house. What's up? Hey, good to see you, Brennan. Hope you're having a good time. All right, so this is Inferno. Now, Inferno's like its own sub-ecosystem inside, on top of Titan X ecosystem. And, of course, it will benefit from Titan X going hyper deflationary coming up soon as well. And it's really kind of like Dragon X. It's kind of a store of value project, and things are going to get built on top of it. Like Dragon X, over half a dozen projects. Who knows how many more will be in the future? But Inferno also is going to have, 6 to 8 projects built on top of it and benefit. And of course, we're getting a lot of cross support as well from projects as well. We're going to talk about that. So, Flux, for example, is coming, and that's going to support, Helios, Dragon X, and of course Inferno. So it's going to be pretty exciting to see Flux launching with some cool tokenomics. And I love the timestamps that are coming up as well for people that go in as well on the auction. All right, so that Inferno number one there. We've got Janus, which we talked about. We talked to the founder Janus the other day, the dude. And of course, that is Helios and Janus. And of course, Janus is on Pulsechain. And of course, the upcoming Element 280, which is one of 3 big DeFi protocols coming into the Titan X ecosystem, which is going to support it big time. And of course, that is coming as well. Check out the interview we did the other day there with the dude. Super smart guy, really good, and a really nice guy. Well worth watching that live stream. Now we've got JakeX, the meme coin. That there is from the Titan Legends, and we talked to him yesterday. So if you haven't checked that video out, check that video out from yesterday. That is down 3.5% at the moment. Titan X down 8.6% at the moment, 7,500. We're going to go back into there to have a look at the upcoming project maps. So we'll come back to that. At the moment, Legend X is down 9%. So just taking a bit of a breather after the Hydra launch, which was just a record-breaking launch. We got Helios down 10%. These are really good entries, basically. You guys can decide what you're going to do, but any chance of a pullback here post big event is always a good time to pick up some good stuff amongst the Titan X ecosystem. Dragon X down 11.3%. Baby Dragon X down 17%. Hyper down 20%. Now Hyper has had its big staker payout for day 90, 88, day 88, I think it was. So that's 19.6%. We're going to look at that as well. That has come out. That was about 79 billion somewhere in that ballpark. And of course, we've had a lot of hyper being destroyed off the market. So hyper is going to go just for a short-term readjustment, and that's what we're seeing here, and consolidation. The next big inflation event for hyper is coming up on about the 8th of October. So that's coming up there, and let's quickly look at that chart before we move on. We're going to go to the website too. Oh, it doesn't have the website on here, but let's go to the daily. Obviously, we had a bit of a sell-off there with the hyper coming out, and people were selling that into the higher price. So not surprised there for the staker payout, and of course that coincided with the vortex on hyper, right? So pretty important. Yeah, just to make sure I got that right. So that is kind of coming into play there, and then we've got Blaze is down 40% at the moment, coming off a big ROI day. So Blaze just profit taking there, down 40%, sitting at $2.82. Remember, Blaze has got Ethereum payout. And we're going to look at that too, because I'm pretty sure that's coming up as well. And of course, we're down Hydra there, 52% there on Hydra. Obviously, price got pushed up. We only had 2 trillion, and of course, like 2 billion, I should say. And then, of course, that got had a bit of inflation coming up from day one, miners pushing that down, right? So that's going to be we're at about 400 billion coming out. I think 400 million, 400 million, yeah, coming out there. All right, so let's go back into Titanx. And we're going to have a quick look at that, and then we're going to deep dive into Hydra. So let's have a look at the full screen here. And of course, let's go look at the protocols. And just got this, get rid of the RSI. Pull that back in. All right, let's groove that on. So that is the chart at the moment. And yeah, Titanx, obviously, big things expected for Titanx over the next 6 weeks and beyond. We particularly the next 6 weeks because we've got so many projects launching in particular. But of course, we had Hydra launch, super successful, and of course, price got pumped on Titanx, looking awesome. There's not going to be enough Titanx. I think people need to get their Titanx. So you can get Titanx now, or you can try and do one of the protocols like Hydra or Hyper, and to get more Titanx there. And of course, we've got next big project coming up that's locked in is Flux. And I got expected coming up on the 22nd there. So that is the next big one. That's, you see, it's got INF in there. It's going to benefit Inferno, but it's also, which is also doing extremely well. But also it's going to also benefit Helios and DragonX as well. So that's going to be pretty important. We're going to check that out in a minute. So that is coming up. So that is huge. We obviously had yesterday, we had the Hyper there, Vortex, and that opened up. So that's more Titanx coming in there as well. We had the Hyper 96-day payout. So those two things on Hyper happened. And then we had also got the Blaze payout coming up tomorrow, I believe. That is going to be awesome too. That's over $200,000 of Ethereum. So that's going to come back into the cycle, right? Most of the people will probably just put their Ethereum back to work. So that's more demand coming in for the Titanx ecosystem. So look out for the Titanx price or anything else on the Gambit, because that could be pretty awesome. Also the Blaze auctions, right? So we shall see how that goes. So pretty awesome. So let's quickly look at we're going to quickly look at Hyper quickly. We're going to get a Hydra in a second. So we had this Hyper event, and yeah, we had the payouts. So the 88-day payout happened there in Hyper. So it was about 79 billion, I believe it was, around that. And that came out. So that was what came and hit the market on Hyper. And that's why Hyper came down so much and is just consolidating. And of course, we also had the buy and burn, the Vortex opened up, right? So the Vortex there, the ETH went into the buy Titanx, and we've got now over 1,500 ETH. It was pretty awesome. It was almost 400 ETH in there, and it's gone into the Titanx here. And yeah, we've got 1,522 ETH sitting in Hyper. Isn't that amazing? $3.7 million OMG. That's all you can say. That is fantastic. Buying Titanx with ETH. So huge amount of ETH buy there. Pretty awesome. So we got the V2 from Titanx buying and burning. And we also got, obviously, Hyper there now being boosted from the Vortex. And that's pretty exciting, right? So that's now got 3.7 million. So lots of buying power for Titanx. That's why I'm saying, Titanx is going to have a lot of demand because all these protocols need Titanx, a lot of them. And of course, the price is going to be pushed up with all this buy and burn power as well. And the cheaper the price, the more burns. So burn, baby, burn, as we say. So that's kind of cool. So looking pretty good there. What was the other one I was going to talk about? I think we were going to talk about the Blaze payout. So let's quickly look at Blaze. And Blaze here, let's jump down to Blaze here. We'll have a quick look at that. And the Blaze rewards are coming, right? So the rewards, and we can see that we've got the 80-day payout there. So this is all going to come in. It's even more than 200K now. It's 223,000, 90 ETH coming back into the Titan X system. Most of that, I suspect, will get reinvested either back into Blaze or back into some on Titan X itself or some of the other protocols, like obviously moving into Hydra or something like that. So expect that to happen. Could move into Hyper as well as a leverage play on Titan X. So people got different decisions to make, but that is very close. 1 day and 8 hours, or 1 day and 9 hours to go until the 80-day payout there. So more money coming back into the system. So, you know, we saw the charts with them all down. Well, that could be short-lived, right? Because we've got so much bullish stuff coming with that. So the very, very cool things happening here. Hyper obviously had to pull back a little bit with that first inflation. We've got very low inflation for Hyper coming out over the next 20 days or so. Like I say, up to the 8th, and then, of course, 8th of October. And so this was the only really big inflation event, was that 96-day payout. So, yeah, the next one is coming up the 8th of October, which is all the way out here, right? So it's quite a bit of time. Let's see how much time that is. 8th is 19 days away till the next. And that's going to have, if we had about 79 billion for the 90-day, 6-day payout from memory, then we're going to have about 92 billion coming out on the 8th of October. That's expected, but there's not a lot in between those times. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. So that is on Blaze. Now, the other thing, of course, is we've got, obviously, Flux. So we're going to talk quickly about that. And Flux at the moment is coming up. There's going to be bullish for Inferno. And that is September, right? So we've got 22nd. And that's going to be pretty awesome. So let's go quickly look at Flux. The Titan distributor is going to have auctions, right? There's going to be timestamped options, which is going to help a lot. And then we're going to have Titan X distribution. Will be 17.2% of the Titan X buys Inferno via the Titan X Inferno port and burns 100%. So that's why, this is coming up on 22nd. So bullish for the weekend. We've got, that's why, Inferno is going up there as a store of value. Remember, it's kind of like Dragon X and as a store of value project. So, and with its own projects built on the top of it. Really psyched for this. The team is amazing at marketing. We've got Bad Sports in the chat, of course, doing some incredible things. So pretty awesome. 28.8% of the Titan X buys Inferno and pool, and then buys Flux. It's going to be pretty cool. 40% rewards pools, right, for staking. And of course, 4% Titan X to Dragon X Vault. So that's additional. Obviously, Hydra is doing incredible things for Dragon X. But now we've also got 4% coming from Flux as well. And then 2% is going into Helios. So obviously, we talked to the dude about Helios. That is a sleeping giant there too with the treasury, and of course 8% to the Genesis, no expectations. So some really, really, really cool things happening with Flux, and we'll probably go through this in more detail again tomorrow. But just as a teaser about that is coming up. That's the next big project. And Inferno cycle 8, the last inflation cycle, had 1.75 trillion Titan X go through it. This team has momentum. This team has excitement, and after Hydra's launch, it is absolutely huge. So let's get to Hydra because I want to talk about that. So we've got to talk about what's coming up, what's been happening. These are all the big events affecting the chart. And we've got Flux coming up, bullish for Inferno, and of course Hydra here is just incredible for Dragon X. And this is the weird thing, right? So this is the weird thing for Dragon X, and I'm going to pump out of here. But Dragon X got sold down, right? So 13%. And I just want to say insanity. People trying to flip out into Hydra. But, the whole point, Hydra is going to pump Dragon X. And now you see Flux is also pushing to it. There's going to be many other projects feeding the Dragon X. And, of course, we're going to have burnings. We're going to have more staking for Dragon X. So, yeah, this is an opportunity to pick up Inferno and Dragon X. It just seems like a no-brainer, right? And Titan, I mean, it's all good stuff. But if you want to pick up the two store of values, Inferno and Dragon X, what a perfect time, right? So, you can find more details of that in our strategy club. The link's in the video description to join that. $35 a month, really great value. And we've got heaps of intel flowing in there constantly all day. So definitely do that. So you don't have to do so much research yourself. You can just see all the highlights in there and some of the suggestions we make about moves to do. And so far they've played out very perfectly. So get in there on that. All right. So yeah, kind of cool. We're sitting at 8,380 at the moment. Pretty awesome opportunity. Now, obviously, the main event, and we're getting up to this. So the main event here has been Hydra. Woohoo! Now this thing, man, it was awesome to launch. So we had the starting pool. I just want to go through the amount of inflation at the moment. We're going to look at that. But let's go into Hydra here, and I'm going to pull up that website. So let's go to Hydra at number 10 and have a look at this. So this has been huge, absolutely mega, breaking records is Hydra. Get in the chat there and tell us about what you think about Hydra's performance. It has been absolutely record breaking. Absolutely huge amount has been of these liquid supply of Titanex has been used up. I think it was 17.5% by my count. Absolutely amazing Hydra launching. The website is absolutely beautiful. I really think it's kicking. And yeah, at the moment, the yield for an RO miner is still 4,500%. Obviously, we know it's going to go down and move around. But man, absolutely fantastic so far. So let's go to Jake Sharp and see the results. So Jake Sharp, the founder, of course, of Titanex and DragonX and Hyper here. Damn, that's a crazy first 24 hours. Man, look at that. 1,570 users here and 12.24 trillion is the number there. And I think the mark actually got a bit higher than this, 12.43, I think was the mark on the end of the day. But man, what an absolute ballista results for the amount of Titanex that went in through the miners. Crazy good amount. So huge number there. Now, some people were talking, 10 trillion. Those people that were on the high side talking 10 trillion. And of course, I was marking in Discord at 12 trillion, and we got over 12 trillion. So pats on the hat there. There we go. And man, it's looking pretty legit. So a big shout out to Jake Sharp. Obviously, huge success there for the first 24 hours. We're going to be looking forward to the days ahead leading up to the 369 payout for Titanex on the 30th of October. Very critical landmark there, because that's going to be a lot of ETH going back into Titanex to push the price up and, of course, move us to deflationary. Big deal there. But, of course, Hydra is playing a massive role in that as well. So pretty awesome. I think it was something like $7 million or so. Really crazy stuff. And we're looking forward to millions more coming in over the days ahead, right? So it's going to be pretty exciting. So, yeah, pretty amazing. Let's go to the daily on this. Now, obviously, we had some price charts here moving up. There was 2 billion in the pool. So 2 billion Hydra in the pool, matched with 2 billion DragonX. This was the starting LP. Got a bit of flick there with the LPs there. Now, Jake said, don't get into LP. Don't buy the little amount of Hydra on the market, but just mine. And, of course, we've seen huge numbers in the miners. Something like 90-95% of the miners going out max period, 88 days. And we got a big candle out there. So it's been incredible results there. And very little. We've seen very little leading up to the 88-day period. So it's very little candles at the moment. Now, obviously, that will get filled in a bit as we move forward. But my goodness, it's really going to be interesting for the price chart. And, of course, we had some big moves in the price chart only a few hours ago. So that we're going to talk about that. So at the moment, yields are looking beautiful, 4,480. Now, I did have a snapshot of that at the beginning. And we had the yields. I'm just going to pull it up here. We had the snapshot. Yeah, the yield. Oh, I keep bringing up the wrong one. Every one but the one I'm wanting to open. Yeah, it was early on. I had it at, this was about maybe 30 minutes into the day. I had the yields at 8,671%. Obviously, the price there going up pretty strong. And now we've got sitting at 4,500% at the moment. So pretty awesome there. And we can see that we got up all the way up here to 3 zeros, 1177, barring the first wick there on the hourly. And then we just obviously had a bit of selling there. Once we got the first miners coming out, there wasn't a lot expected, about 400 million adding to that 2 billion Hydra. And then we saw a bit of a sell-off there from multiple accounts go bam at the turn of the day, right? Which is pretty hilarious. And, of course, we just waned down a little bit there. We're currently around 4 zeros, 5369. And, of course, the yield at the moment, Hydra, is still about 4,500% there on a max miner for 88 days. So that's kind of the play there. But, of course, the talk of the town was, when's the buy going to happen for DragonX? And we saw this. So this was set at a 10 million Titanex per 1 minute. So it was pointless. But now it has been activated a couple hours ago, and it's now 800 million Titanex is going to come out of this pool every 60 minutes. How much? Of course, we got that 12.3 trillion or so in the through miners. 9 trillion is sitting in the buy DragonX with Titanex a buy there. and that is a $6.7 million at the moment. So obviously they will move around with the price of Titan X as well, and the US dollar there. So it's going to move up and down. But 9 trillion Titan X, isn't that incredible? Mind-boggling. You got to remember, we started the day with Titan X at 72 trillion. 72 trillion. We're going to look at that in a minute, but that is down dramatically. Like we say, got down below 61 trillion by the end of the day. So started 72, got down to below 71, and we still had inflation coming out from day miners as well. So we had to deal with that. So incredible results. And this is the buy and burn, about $600. So starting off real nice and easy. Remember, there's not much inflation out there, right? Not much inflation, and we can actually go to the stats and see that there is only 2,298 million currently liquid. Now we know there's actually up to probably about 2.4. So some of it obviously hasn't come due, or people haven't grabbed it. But that is where we are at the moment. So a little bit more to come out. And yeah, that's where the price is. Now, we also see some LP fees, right? So we've got 19 million Hydra and LP fees, about $1,000. And we've got the buy and burn just slowly tracking up there with now that it's been activated. And we're sitting at $17.5 million, $944. So really beginning, we're really just at the beginning here of the buy and burn stats. And look at this. I mean, it's just crazy. So that's 800 million. Obviously, you can see that on Hydra. So let's go have a look and pull that up. And let's go, on Dragon X, I should say. Let's go back out of here. And let's go back down to Dragon X and have a look for some of that. So we're going to go scroll back down here, 500. Go back here. So this is one here. So this is the first one, I believe, this 800 million. And that ticked away. And yeah, so we saw 800 million there call, and that is operating. So kind of cool. How many we got in here? Well, we've now bought this much Dragon X, so 1,156. So we're sitting at that's like 2 calls from the looks of it. It hasn't been called every hour from the looks of it there. And we're sitting, we might get another call though in the next few minutes, right? Because that one there was, it might be 12 minutes time, we might get one. I think someone skipped one. Let's skip one there. Let's see, 800, and let's scroll back up here. Yeah, can't see the other one here, but definitely that is the play. Maybe it was this one, but it looks a bit under 800. So it's going back down here. So it looks like 1 at the moment. Looks like 1 or 2, but this one here is slowing slightly lower. So we're sitting at 137 million Dragon X so far with $1,100 in there. Actually, there was a little bit in there to begin with. So it looks like we only had 1 call so far on that. The Vortex itself with the Titan X Vortex balance has got 961,000 in there. Just under 1.3 trillion Titan X sitting in the Titan Vortex there as well. And you guys know that we get those every 98 days, and that we had the Dragon one called straight away, right? So that is the play there sitting in here. So kind of cool. All right. All right, so that is kind of where we're at the moment. The stats really just the beginning, and we've hardly got anything at the moment. So we're just starting up, and yeah, I think you can reasonably expect this buy and burn just to slowly tick up. As like I said, we've got hardly any inflation coming out with the miners. They've already gone, 90-95% max period. There's very little stuff at the moment. Obviously, every day goes by, we're going to have more miners. And of course, people trying to leverage. And if you go right through the leverage from Hydra to Dragon X to Titan X, you've got massive upside with 4,500% miner, right? And that's going to get you tons and tons of Titan X, right? So pretty epic on that. So yeah, if you go back through the calculator, it's going to give you tons of Titan X theoretically. Now we're not expecting that ROI to stay up like that, of course, but a bit of a starting number. But as we get more inflation coming out, which is going to be relatively low, yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting. Now I think today, at the end of the day, I think we've got 2 billion, I think, coming out. So that would just over double the supply of Hydra. And then I think the next day we've got another, if it hasn't changed, probably another 14, something like that, 14 billion, something in that ballpark, coming out for day 4 there. Or day 3, yeah, day 3, 2 billion, or day 2 billion, and I think about 4 billion or something like that afterwards. I haven't checked it recently, but something like that. And then we jump up to like 14 billion per day for day 4, 5, 6, 7, something like that. So kind of cool. You can find all that detail on Mike Dean's dashboard if you haven't got that. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. So incredible numbers here. What will we get in the next couple of days? Obviously, after that big day, sometimes you have a bit of a quiet moment, and then you start ramping up again, right? So we might see that sort of play out as well. And I think we've seen that so far in the stats. So yeah, watch out for the next couple of days. Once the price chart's pumping, that Dragon X starts moving. That's why you don't really want to sell Dragon X. You want to buy more Dragon X because that is just slowly going to start ramping up. So bring it on, as we say. The other one, of course, is Inferno with Flux coming up. Those are two obvious store values looking pretty exciting there. Pretty cool indeed. So big shout out to Jake there. Now, we obviously got more posts here from Jake over the last 24 hours. We've had the big Crypto Audio King did a 12-hour live stream. He had a lot of people on there. Definitely watch that. There's a lot of inside information there on X28. Jake Sharp did a good section on that. He did definitely what's about in the middle, I think. So definitely watch that. What else we got there? You've got Mo and other personalities on there as well. Build on Titan-X there. Good morning. That was 12 hours ago there. Now, this is a really cool from Mackenzie. Hydra less than 24 hours, 6.6 million buy and burn ready. I was okay with 10 million in 90 days, but it's happened so much faster. Is blowing minds. And this is a really amazing graphic showing $10 million of value coming in and the way Hydra works. So fantastic there. I love that sort of stuff. Big shout out to Mackenzie for that. And of course, coming up is farms, right? So we're talking about the roadmap, and let's go back to Titan-X roadmap and check that out. The Titan-X roadmap. Now, we've talked about the fact that Flux is coming up. Now, we may have Pulsar, question mark. We've got Ouroboros in testing for the lending. It's one of the three big protocols coming up in the DeFi space. Vault is scheduled for the 28th. So that's coming up as well. And then Titan Farms, right? Titan Farms soon. Now, interesting thing about this is that Jake's been really excited about Titan Farms. Eric, obviously the founder of DragonX, who's bringing Titan Farms to the market, is very excited. So, yeah, looking forward to that. They've got, say, this is going to be quite an innovative farming pool, different from a lot of others out there. So keep a look at that. That's really going to scale up the liquidity. They're talking about $100 million plus. So exciting to see where that will head. And that is locked in for early October. So like I said, you haven't got much time. Time is ticking. You got to get positions, take in these pullbacks while you can in the markets. It's like 11 days plus away. So yeah, that is going to be absolutely awesome for that. And you can find that obviously on here, Titan Farms at the moment. So early October are locked and loaded. And of course, we've got Flux coming out before that and the Vault coming out before that as well. Now, quickly look at the Vault because the Vault's coming up. You can see the Vault on the 28th there. Let's quickly have a little teaser at that again. We're going to go into the token distribution, and we can see that that's only going to be 10 days to get the inflation out. Pretty awesome. And then they're going to rotate some of the volume back into auctions after that, but it's going to be recycled, right? So to get 10 days, I think that's going to be super bullish. I really think that's going to be great for token, getting that all out in 10 days. But the other thing, of course, is they're going to be sending 4% to Dragon X again. So like Flux, it's going to benefit Dragon X Vault. Hydra's benefiting Dragon X. So Dragon X, that store value. That's why people are selling at the moment. Kind of crazy, right? It should be accumulating. But, this is the market. The market decides. That's the way to go. And, of course, yeah, it's going to be fun to see this all play out, right? So it's going to be in Titan-X, taking the Titan-X there. So people are going to need more Titan-X. That's all we can say. So the whole system is really starting to ramp up. So that is kind of cool for that. Yeah, watch out the Titan-X space. It's going to be pretty awesome. We're also looking forward to Element 280 in October. I'm hoping it's a little bit later, starts a bit later. I would like to see it come out and end just after early November there because Ethereum's coming out in their payout, right? And Element 280 is going to accept the Titan-X and Ethereum. So I think that would be very bullish for the dude out there. So I'm not sure if he's watching, but definitely I think that would be a good play to get the Ethereum, part of the Ethereum coming out of that 369 going into Element 280. Element 280 is going to be huge, right? So it's going to be a pool where mutual pool where you'll be able to invest in everything in the Titan-X ecosystem. It's going to bring in a lot of demand and be real simple for people that just want a simple way of buying up everything and having exposure to everything in the Titan-X ecosystem. So I think that's really cool. Titan Farms, of course, is going to be big for liquidity, and so is Ouroboros with lending and borrowing leverage, and of course the stablecoin going to be massive as well. So three giant DeFis coming in to support this, groundbreaking ROI ecosystem, or protocol ecosystem, which is going to be amazing. So pretty cool. And let's not forget that 88-day payout coming out in a day, just over a day away. So more ETH coming in, $200,000 of ETH, $222,000 of ETH coming there too. Yeah, lots of opportunity. This little pullback's kind of like a little bit of a godsend, right? All this little pullback here, kind of really cool. Now let's jump over to where is it going here? Jack Sharp. We're going to continue on with there. Yeah, farms are pretty close. That Titan farm is coming. It's going to be a big deal. We got more data, of course, showing up. We're going to talk about that in a second. Let's see what else we got going. All the stuff here from Jake, just posting about being on the live stream there. Now, another cool one here is from Eric. Now, we're going to come back to that in a minute. Let's see here. So 12-hour live stream's been on. Let's jump up here. Just from Jake to see what else he's got going. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, Mike Dean's had some stuff. We're going to check out Mike Dean as well. So Eric here, the Hydra launch was a massive success. In just 24 hours, 1.5 thousand miners, $7 million worth of Titan X deposited into the Hydra buy and burn contract to burn Dragon X. Isn't that amazing? Just into the buy and burn alone. So absolutely massive. And of course, we covered that. This shows the power of this community to incubate and for a launch fair. Audited DeFi protocols, huge win for Titan X. And it's really going to help, the Titan X system take over Ethereum in this bull market coming up. We talked about that in the market update. It is looking really good for that. Now, Mike Dean also has been doing a lot of really cool number crunching. So coming soon is the Hydra section. I think he's had some issues with some price calls, but he's working on that. And we're going to have the Hydra section. So if you're using the Titan X Hub portfolio tracker, if you're using the Titan X Hub portfolio tracker over here on the right, then you'll be able to see the Hydra section soon. So I think it was going to be out probably already, but there's taking a little bit of issue there with the pricing, I believe. So that's coming soon. Kind of cool. Yeah, he's just having some issues there, but kind of nice there. So that is coming from Mike Dean. He's been putting out a lot of cool stuff. Just scrolling up here on Mike Dean's dashboard here. So yeah, I think that's it. 3 hours ago, he also added Helios. So if you're in Helios there with the dudes projects, Helios dashboards are now in Titan X Hub Premium. And if you haven't used that, that is the link there. So I'm going to post that in the chat there if you want to get that. That's really valuable if you're doing mining ladders and things like that. So kind of cool. Let's jump down. Bam, that is the link there, Tighten Ups. Now we've got a few comments in the chat, so let's go to some of those as well. Let's jump through some of these. We got Wookie's in the house. Hey, Wookie, good to see you. That's something. Brendan said Vortex ended on Hyper as well. Yeah, we covered that, so that's cool. Brendan says, I had 10 to 15 trillion for the first week, but not 12 trillion in one day. That's crazy, says Brendan. We got Kazi in the house there. Hey, Kazi, hope you're doing well there. Jamie X says you can scroll down in the Hydra stats. So you're referring to the stats page. And down here, yeah, that was the recent added, right? So we've got Hydra is built to work on tandem with Dragon X as a lever asset and is bonded with, and of course, Dragon X distribution there. You've got 1.3 trillion in the Dragon X buy and burn. What are the Hydra supply, Hydra NFTs, hybrid NFTs, 297. That is the liquid supply pretty much, and the Hydra supply, they're 5.4 trillion there at the moment. That's the Dragon X distribution on there. Looking pretty amazing. Yeah, it's about right. And supply there. We've got liquid supply, 5.4. That's liquid supply of Dragon X. It's great to have this on the Hydra, isn't it? Because obviously Dragon X has been benefited from Hydra. We've got the hybrid NFTs there as well. You can buy and sell those. Now, we talked about that, I think, yesterday on Titan Legends, right? They're going to be having Dragon X hybrid NFTs over there. They're going to obviously benefit, trading volume will benefit the Titan Legends and the Legend X token. We also got Hydra buy and burn there at a 44 million Dragon X at the moment. So that's just beginning. We're going to keep tracking that. That's going to be huge, right? So total Dragon X burn by the Hydra buy and burn contracts, which we've covered quite a bit today. The Dragon X buy and burn there, 1.3 trillion, $11 million in there. Has been amazing. And of course, if you watch that in the first day, staking more and more of the Titan X that it received from Hydra, pretty amazing. Remember, it gets 20% of the 92%, so doing pretty well there. And LP fees sitting at 3 billion. So Dragon X benefiting big time. That's why Dragon X really is something that people should be trying to accumulate here in the chart. So Inferno and of course Dragon X there benefiting from Hydra and Flux. Hydra and Flux. So kind of cool. All right, so more data is good. And of course, we've also got other projects going to be launching. We're going to cover that as well. Let's jump back to that. I think that's kind of it at the moment. Yeah, that buy and burn. So we're going to keep tracking that. 137 million Dragon X in there at the moment. And of course, then Dragon X with Titan X. So it's got Titan X in it, 9 trillion. And of course, now we've got 137 million Dragon X, just the beginning. And with such a low mining ladder at the moment, man, it's going to be interesting to see how this goes up. And of course, only just started a couple hours back because that was previous. Now, the total amount here, 28 million Dragon X is callable every 60 minutes. So that is the global cap at the moment. So we're looking forward to that too. Total Hydra buy and burn so far, 17.5 million. Total Dragon X use so far, 805,000 Titan X. So just the beginning, folks. And if you do get onto the dashboard, you can see the ladder there for mining, and it might give you an idea when this might step up in terms of its impact on the price of Hydra, etc. So, and of course on Dragon X. So we'll keep a tabs on that as we go. So exciting times. The pullback in the price at the moment, real dream. Titan X at the moment, 7,447. And of course, yeah, Inferno is the one that's really been showing some strength here. Now the JakeX meme coin is up 7% at the moment. Low liquidity, but this might actually surprise people as the Titan X ecosystem gets more valuable. JakeX meme coin might, price that in, right, and have a bit of a meme bounce there on small liquidity too. So food for thought there. There's opportunities galore at the moment. You will see the Dragon X stakes. Thanks to Jamie X, appreciate that. And yeah, that is the link there to Titan X Hub Premium. You can pick that up as well. And I think there's a couple codes out there like Mo's code you can use to crypto audio that give you a discount on that. So well worth chasing those down too. Don't have them on me at the moment, but that is the play. All right, so yeah, Mike Dean offering more information all the time, which is pretty cool. Let's see what else we got going on here with some of the updates. Yeah, that's pretty much it at the moment. Now, future inflation, right? We are kicking it on. Future inflation at the moment is being, obviously just about to end in deflation for sure. Let's have a look here. So I'm going to scroll down here at the moment. This here tells you how much inflation has been coming out recently. So really dropping away here at the moment. That's kind of cool. We do have some big candles coming up, so let's talk about that. At the moment, of course, we're on this one here, 5:45. Now, the day's about to start, so we've just started, actually. Let's see here. Yeah, 1 hour. So 1 hour into this orange candle. This is new inflation, new miners on Titan X coming out. 286 billion there at the moment. So that's the day we're moving into. So we've got a really low day. We've got prices lower. A really good opportunity for prices to go up, right, with the buy and burns and market demand. So keep a lookout for that in the next 24 hours. Could get a nice little rebound heading into the weekend. And we've got Flux coming out, right? So on the 22nd. So that's coming up too. We've got 5:33 the next day, and then day 22nd there. When Flux is kind of expected to launch there. We've got 6:45. And so it stays around, the 600 billion Titan X coming out. And then, of course, we get into the main event. So let's scroll down a bit further to a longer range, and we'll get into the 90-day view. So, yeah, here we are at the moment. This is kind of where we're on this orange day. And then we're going to have the last of the trillion candles, right? So we've got 5 of them at the end of September. And then we've got 2 of them at the beginning of October. And that's our last trillion Titan X candle coming out. Isn't that crazy? And then this whole is all going to rescale. And we're going to drop down into, much lower levels. So the next big candle after that is 815 billion. That's on the 10th of October. I remember 2 days before that, of course, we're going to have Hyper's miners coming out with about 92. So it's going to impact Hyper there. And then down we go. By the time we get to the 18th of October, we've got our last $500 billion candle. After that, the top of this is going to be 500 billion, and we will be getting into sub 500 billion candles. In fact, we get very low indeed, 110, 120 by 2/3 of the way through October. 23rd gets really low there. We have a bit of a jump here on the 31st of October. Now, as you guys know, on the 30th here, that's when we're going to have the Titan X big payout, staker payout there for 369, right? So that's going to be absolutely massive, and that's ticking away. In fact, we've got the days coming up here. Let me just scroll back. Actually, it's further down. We have 41 days to go until the 369 payout. Absolutely massive, right? Absolutely massive. So looking forward to that. And of course, if we go to Titan X and we'll go back to the website, we can see that staker payout that is coming for 369. It is massive. $6 million at the current price of ETH. Obviously, if ETH continues to rise up over the next 41 days, then this could end up being who knows how high, right? If ETH does a big move, could be $10 million or more. Really, really excited. 2,500 ETH in there coming back into the market, and that's going to buy up Titan X. A lot of that will buy. The Dragon X has to buy up Titan X, and so that's pretty massive too. Let's have a quick look at that too on Titan Watch. See how much a Dragon X is now. With 20% and 92% of Hydra goes into Dragon X staking, and the stakes have been pretty awesome. Let's have a quick look at the stakes on Titan X while we're here. And we can see some of the ABs. We've got an AB. The last AB was 4 hours ago. 122.8 billion. Titan X was staked on behalf of Dragon X. That's the last big stake. And now the Dragon X staker payout from the 369. We saw it's just over 6 million at the moment. Is just under $2.5 million, and it's over 1,000 ETH as well. 1,009 ETH for that 369 payout. And that all has to go back and stake, right? So it's going to take Titan X off the market. Huge burn, massive burn there for that. So that's super bullish, and only 41 days away from that. Now I suspect that we're going to get a lot of that Titan X payout. A lot of the retail books, a lot of the other $3.5 million at the moment. I think a lot of that's just going to go back in the system because a lot of these people are pretty diehard Titan Xers. Now some of it won't, of course, but I think a lot of that Ethereum, that 2,500 Ethereum, probably is going to go back into all the protocols, right? Because as you guys see in the chart here, there's just so much good stuff coming down the line and the momentum is your friend. We're going to go hyper deflation with Titan X. The market can see that. Rational players will be going, man, I got to get into this, buy more Titan X and more Dragon X, more Inferno, more Flux, and all the other protocols. By the time we get there, we're going to have Volt out again. We're probably going to have Pulse up, Ouroboros, Element 280, Titan Farms, Felix, maybe even Scale will be out on Baby Dragon X. Viper possibly, is set for October. It is going, and possibly more protocols launched by then as well in October. So, it's going to be pretty awesome to see all that economic energy go back in. And then you got Blaze coming out with their Ethereum payouts. So you got the Ethereum coming in. Element 280 is going to accept Ethereum. So quite a few new projects going to have Ethereum and Titan X. So you got all the economic energy coming in to the system. And of course, you got very little inflation left coming out as we head into October, right? Which you can see in this chart. So game on. This whole system. And of course, ETH starting to go back up. Man, this whole system is about to go legit, as we say, legit. I don't know. But it's getting pretty exciting. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that. There's so many other projects coming down the line. I've just got a few of them in my little red box here. But there are way more coming down the line. All pretty good quality too, by really good devs and founders. So really excited about this. Super excited for Flux coming up on the 22nd. And then Volt. And of course, we'll question mark over Felix and Pulsar and others. But definitely these are huge. And of course, Dragon X and Hydra going to be absolutely epic. Hyper as well for the Titan X leverage, and we got Hydra and of course Flux coming, absolutely mega. Just so much good stuff, right? So much good stuff coming down the line. That's going to finish up. We're an hour and 18 minutes into the live stream. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Now you can find out way more details in our strategy club. Links in the video description. $35 a month. Join up today for that. The other thing, of course, is we are feeding not just around Titan X. We're also covering other methods like X1 and Zen Chain. That looks like that's gearing up at the moment. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of opportunities leading into this bull market. So you definitely want to participate in that. I hope you guys enjoyed today's coverage. A big shout out to the whole Titan X community and Hydra. What a record-breaking day, man! Oh man! Something like 12.43 trillion coming in through the miners on day one. And of course, after a little bit of a breather the following day, I'm sure things are going to start building up as people start going into those Hydra miners. Leverage play on Dragon and Titan X, and the maths are pretty fun. It's going to be fun to see the buy and burn operate and how that influences the small supply, relatively speaking, of Hydra. So that's all going to be fun to watch over the next couple of days and the weeks ahead. So lots of cool things happening there. Now, if you want to continue the conversation, once again, get into Discord. And of course, I will be streaming again tomorrow. Yeah, boy, we'll be coming Friday stock market results. And of course, how Titan X system is growing. And of course, also we'll cover obviously Pulsechain as well. So catch me for tomorrow's live stream. An hour and 20 minutes on the hour. All right, take care, everybody. I'll catch you on the next stream. Bye for now. Woohoo!